Use the Force, Luke.
Live long and prosper.
I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Shut up and take my money.
By Grabthar's hammer. What a saving.
One does not simply walk into Mordor.
X never, ever marks the spot.
Winter is coming. You're a wizard, Harry.
Stay a while and listen.
My whole Cryptid frog.
Your ties are cool.
So say we all.
This is a Play on Nerds.
Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, or mostly middle-aged men, probably, to episode 244
Damn it.
of the Muppet Trek podcast. As always, I'm your mid to late-aged man, Steve.
I'm your late-aged man, Jarman. That's how I feel.
And together,
anyway.
we're approaching death. just
one day at a time.
One episode at a time. We're bringing it to you hard. Speaking of bringing it hard,
oh shit,
everyone.
We gotta stop.
What?
I'm tired. I just realized you're on the wrong microphone.
God fucking shit.
It's like, wait a minute. Why is he slugging in a tin can?
Oh, god damn it. I have my phone charger plugged in, and they're the same woven cable type. And so I saw my phone charger, and I was like, yep, I'm plugged in. No need to check.
Oh, damn it.
Should be switching now.
There you go. There it is.
There we go.
I'll just leave all that in. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Well, speaking about going hard, the public going hard about this new movie, The Yeti.
We all heard of it coming out soon.
With that guy Berenson that just the ladies are clamoring about.
Berenson?
It's yeah, that's the name of the guy. That's why we picked it, because he was in the last episode of Star Trek. That is how we stumbled into this thing.
Oh, no. I thought it was some young guy you were talking about, isn't this?
No, there's an old guy in the Yeti. He was just an episode of Star Trek.
That's right.
So yeah, a cryptozoological cinematic masterpiece in the making, I'm sure, coming out soon. But before the Yeti, we want to revisit a Hollywood blockbuster. Really the first of its kind, man versus nature, confronting the traumas of your past and spying on unsuspecting women in their apartment. 2006's Abominable.
We've all heard of it. We all love it. We're going to review it.
You're going to know more actors in it than you think, is really what it comes down to.
Strangely enough.
But Jarman, before that, I hear we have a stack of feedback.
We do. It's probably a long time coming for at least one of them here, because we haven't recorded in a bit. But we have a Crazy Joe Fiore. Sorry if it's Fiore, and I can't remember. It's been a long time since we talked in person, but we've had a few emails from you over the time, and we appreciate you listening. From Mega Podtastic, sent us this email. He says, "Hey guys, I was just listening to the February 5th episode of A Play on Nerds when you were talking about the earliest internet memes, probably on our Nerd Roll of Fortune."
You're the man now, dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
He says, "Do you guys remember the Ate My Balls trend of the mid-90s? There was a Mr. T ate my balls, Chewbacca ate my balls, and Jay and Silent Bob ate my balls, etc. Basically, if you were in the pop culture at the time, someone probably set up a website about you eating balls. Do you guys remember that?" And then he sent over some picture examples. I don't remember this either. I thought maybe you did.
So here's the thing. Mid 90s, you know, we were 10 or like 12. We just weren't there yet.
True. Not to like the early 2000s.
Internet memories start showing up around like 14, 15, 16.
Yeah, 1999. Around that time.
It's also when I figured out the porn.
Yeah,
it's also right in there.
I feel like this is just before You're the Man Now Dog like time. So it was like someone ate my balls. And it's funny because just before we started recording this show, Steve and I were talking about we have the explicit label on all of our episodes. Like, do we really need that? I'm like, and now we're just talking about eating balls this whole time.
We have to. It's for moments like this. We protect you fine people.
So no, Crazy Joe, we don't remember that, but we should have. And I looked at a few of the ones you sent in the email and they look hilarious, but that was the humor at the time. Oh my God.
Man, I do remember Hamster Dance though, and Jesus Dance.
Oh yeah. It was like,
yeah, man.
And the baby dance that was on like Ally McBeal.
Ally McBeal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man. awful. Just terrible.
We also have feedback from our old friend Sean Vanderloo, who sent us over an MP3 in regards to our episode where we reviewed the movie Moon from 2009.
Masterpiece.
Oh,
Masterpiece
yes.
movie Moon.
And I haven't listened to this all the way through, and it's neither has Steve, so we're going to go ahead and play that now. Here it is.
We're going to live
Hey,
react.
Steve and German, it's Sean, your Canadian correspondent. And boy, do I feel bad. I was supposed to send you a review, a discussion about the movie Moon about a month ago. But I've been so busy with my new YouTube channel, The Long Way Around, that it completely slipped my mind and fell through the cracks. But I'm here to help you out. So, Moon, released in 2009. Wow. I remember that like it was 16 or 17 years ago, and I had read about the movie coming out, and it sounded right up my alley, sounded absolutely fantastic. And of course, I was living in Timmins at the time. That's way up in northern Ontario, the land that culture forgot. And of course, it did not come to our theater. But lo and behold, it did appear on DVD or Blu-ray. Maybe it was, no, I don't think they had 4K back then, at Best Buy. And it was $30-some. And I'm like, that's an awful lot of money for a movie that I'd never seen. But luckily enough, I had a gift card to Best Buy and I bought the thing. And I'm so glad I did. Absolutely fantastic film. Sam Rockwell in a career-defining performance. Twists, didn't see them coming. It was just a great movie all around. Probably one of the best movies from 2009, and that's also the year that the Star Trek J.J. Abrams movie came out, so I know what I'm talking about here. So, was it a great movie? Yes. Have I seen it in a while? No. Is it because of Kevin Spacey? Perhaps. But even without the whole controversy surrounding the Spacey guy there, you should watch the film. It's great. Just like you guys talked about in your podcast when you discussed the film. Actually, one of the best films you guys have ever discussed on your show. Usually you watch all these weird sequels and prequels and stuff that's so obscure nobody's ever heard of, and they're absolute junk. But this time you guys picked a winner. And this week here, it's actually the Artemis 2 mission going to the moon as I'm recording this. I don't know when you'll play it on your show, but it's a great time. It's awesome. So I just wanted to thank you guys for the continuous shout-outs to me and my podcasts. Your listeners have been around for, a dozen years? And I think I've been sending you guys random MP3s since then. Started out with the Rusted Robot podcast, then went to the Sci-Fi Waffle podcast, then I did the Soul Forge podcast, and the Cosmic Pizza podcast, and the Epsilon 3 podcast. And now I only have 2 podcasts left. I've got the Cosmic Pizza podcast with our boys in the UK, and now I'm doing one with my wife called Have Coffee, We'll Travel, and it's all about our adventures and different pop culture things. And like I mentioned at the start of this audio recording, I have recently started a YouTube channel. And it's kind of like Soulforge, or kind of like your previous sappy crap kind of type show on YouTube, or what I like to call Awkward Sean videos. It's pretty new. The listeners here can find it if they search at The Long Way Show. I'll also give you the link so you can put that in your show notes for this episode. But if you like awkward videos, some guy trying to talk about life and lessons and things that they learn along the way. Everything we learn through trial and error and the hard way. That's what The Long Way Around is all about. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here to talk about Moon, which I already did. Once again, congratulations on your new son, Mr. German. Woo. And thanks for giving me the opportunity to ramble on about some stuff. And as always, huge apologies to the estate of Raul Julia.
Always one more.
Thank you, Sean. That's great. And I've seen a couple of videos that have popped up, I think, on TikTok that you also are putting the videos on, where it's kind of just like talking about how hard it is to get started, just putting yourself out there on video. And it is difficult because it's like now it's a whole other image of seeing yourself on your face added to your voice. And so I don't think you're going to be able to reveal everything you revealed on the Soul Forge podcast when your face is right there showing people as well, because you were open to everything on that show. But I wish you luck in that new endeavor, and we direct our listeners to go check it out. Absolutely. But
at The Long Way Show.
Yes.
I had to actually put the @ sign in front of it to find it. So at The Long Way Show.
Nice.
Sean Vanderloo, our longtime listener. He's guested, I think, on every podcast we've done at some point, basically.
At some point, yeah.
At some point.
And of course, he loves the Moon movie, and I haven't got my wife to watch it yet. That was supposed to be the idea that she'd watch that movie with me, but she wasn't available, so we couldn't. So next time, she's going to watch it eventually. It's fantastic. It's a good movie.
Oh, yeah. Good times. Great oldies.
And I couldn't tell there's a little bit of bitterness there about all the bad movies we watch, but I'm going to make them watch them anyway.
And stuff that no one's heard of. And we like it that way, Sean. Just like our show. No one's heard of.
All right. Well, Steve, after all that, what have you been up to since we last recorded?
Still some stomach issues looming around. Been to the doctor, got some blood drawn. I even got a whole abdomen ultrasound that I'm now waiting on results from, just to give me an idea what the hell's going on. The reality is it could be the Zepbound, which would really be a friggin' bummer, but I hadn't had any major issues up until this most recent dosage. So the chance of seeing no problems before that
is odd.
Is odd, not impossible, but odd.
Yeah.
So just playing it easy on my stomach and, playing it fast and loose.
Or the opposite of fast and loose.
Tight, and tight.
Slow and tight.
Slow, tight. But otherwise, the kids had spring break.
Nice.
Which I worked for most of, but got to catch a few days of the tail end of, and got to host Joyce's first Dungeons and Dragons-ish kind of game.
Yes.
With her and 3 friends. I ended up hosting Dungeon World, a game system I love and really do recommend. It's very beginner-friendly, and it went pretty good.
Nice.
If anything, me dealing with adult player bullshit really prepped me.
Absolutely.
My favorite instance of which is they get into the Goblin Cave. There's 4 of them. We go around the table and one's like, I want to try to distract the wolf so that this person can get past. And they try and they fail, and the wolf attacks the person that they were trying to distract from. And the fighter runs in with sword blazing. And I'm like, and you, the ranger, what do you do? She goes, I hop on my pet and we run out of the cave and into the forest. And I go, so the rest of your group is about to be attacked and hurt, and you and your cat just run out of the adventure?
Mm-hmm.
And she went, and I went, okay. And I scooped her thing off the board and said, that's fine. You can go hang out in the living room. But if you're not going to be in the adventure we're playing, you don't need to be at the table. And she went, okay. And she went and she pet the cats, and we went around for one more turn, and it came back to where her turn would be. And I could already see her looming. I said, are you going to rejoin the adventure now? And she went, yeah. And she came back and we had no more issues. But nice. I had to put my foot down in that one instance and be like, okay,
this is how it works.
That's your choice. You don't want to have an adventure and play a game? Fine. Don't have an adventure, play a game. Go in the living room, be quiet.
My favorite instance of that was this guy who was playing an edgelord in one of our campaigns, who's a full-grown adult, by the way, who still couldn't do as good as that girl just did. We were all getting attacked by giants outside of the tavern, and so it gets around to his turn, and the DM's like, okay, what do you want to do? And he's like, I'm going to stay in the tavern and have a drink. He's like, cool. They're all going out there to die, but you're gonna stay in the tavern? He's yeah, I don't care. That's not my problem. It's like, cool. So he has the giants throw one of their opponents, like one of the NPCs just around, and it falls through the roof and lands on him in the tavern.
Make it your problem.
And he was knocked out in one hit, and so he almost died. And so that kind of taught him a lesson that he kind of learned.
Good.
Anyways,
those players are the worst.
They are. They're not children. They're adults.
Yeah, I know. And then otherwise went to see the Super Mario Galaxy movie.
Okay.
What a pile of trash that was.
That's what I heard.
When people say there was no story and no plot, they are not exaggerating.
Wow.
It was just a series of loosely strung together scenes with 2, I wouldn't even call them half plots, 2 quarter plots.
Wow.
Happening, and just as many cameos and references as they could feasibly cram in.
That sucks.
It was compared the first one, which was charming and I really did enjoy.
It was decent.
This one was a pile of crap.
Wow.
It was so bad. It makes me so disappointed.
All that money.
I was hoping, I was like, oh, if this one's even remotely like the first one, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'll be so stoked. That's the same thing. I love the Lego movie. Lego movie original was good. The second one,
amazing.
Pretty good. At least had a story. That was not the case here. So,
do the kids like it?
Yeah, but they like terrible things.
That's true. They have no taste.
They didn't know there was no story. They just weren't aware of that. And then some handy stuff. We've been looking for a new dresser for Dilly for a long time, and we finally found one on either Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, one of the two. Went out, got it. It was free, brought it home, sanded, painted, put some new hardware on it, and now it's like his new big boy dresser.
Ooh,
we finally got him
nice.
out of these terrible bins under his bed that we'd been using.
Oh, yeah. Upgrade, man.
Oh, yeah. So a good handy day in there.
You do a lot of those crafts and projects. You're proud of yourself.
Yeah. When you realize how much cheaper it is than
that's motivating.
Like getting new stuff. Oh my God. Yeah. So what have you been up to since last time we checked? I know you said you had to check your schedule to remind yourself.
Yeah. So we had Easter, which I'm not a religious, obviously, but my family isn't that religious either, actually. So we just kind of had an excuse for a family get together, family dinner. And it was nice having my wife's parents come into town, and then we all had dinner together with my parents and at my mom's house, and the baby was there and got passed around. It was really cute. Had some ham. So that was nice.
Ham.
Some ham. And then another thing I had to do was go to APAC, which is the Audio Publishers Association convention, which is usually, or conference. I don't know if it's convention or conference. It's usually held in person, but since COVID, they've been doing 1 year in person, 1 year virtual. So this year, unfortunately, was the virtual one. Because I'd much prefer being in person, especially because I don't see anyone. Yeah. I never leave the house. But yeah, it was kind of neat. There was different panels to see. A lot of it is kind of more geared towards beginner narrators. So it's kind of like a narrators convention with some just audiobook business things thrown in as well for like people who are producers or marketers for audiobooks, with the whole audiobook industry convention kind of deal.
Got it.
So, and I got to see a lot of familiar faces on the Zoom calls that when they had all of us in there where we couldn't talk, it was more like a seminar, but we could see faces, and it was like really famous. There's one guy named Simon Vance, who's probably the biggest name I saw there. Oh, and Ray Porter was there. He's the guy who did Project Hail Mary, the audiobook for that. He's done a lot of different audiobooks. So yeah, that was kind of neat.
Ray Porter did the Bobaverse.
Yeah, the Bobaverse books too.
And in fact, me liking Bobaverse so much is what jumped me to Project Hail Mary, because once I found out he also did that one, that's how I made the jump. He's incredible.
Oh yeah, he's fantastic.
He's really good.
And I'll admit on live, that's something I do a lot as well, that he admitted to on the red carpet, actually, for the Hail Mary premiere, that he does not read his books beforehand before he narrates. He just narrates them cold. And what he means by that is what I'd probably do as well, is that you have someone else prep the book for you when you have so many books in your schedule, and you're like me, where I'm a slow reader, if I'm reading just off a page and not reading aloud. So I have either my wife or I have another prepper prep the book for me, and they give me chapter summaries and character analyses, and then I pay them for that function, or my wife just does it for free because she enjoys, reading books. And then I know what the characters are. I have character samples ready and recorded, so I know what each character is going to sound like. I know what the story is. And that way I'm saving myself so much time, and I'm able to do enough books to where I can afford to live off of this career. And whether most people say it or not, I guarantee the majority of everyday working audiobook narrators do something like that. But when a lot of narrators heard him say that in the red carpet, they were like, oh, this is like only Ray Porter can do that because he's Ray Porter, but no one else should do that. And like, well, they're not just not doing any preparation for the book. They're not just jumping in blind. Like, he knew what Project Hail Mary was about before he narrated it. He had he had a professional prepper probably prepping it for him. But he's just not reading every single book he narrates. He probably does, a book every 2 days, if not more. So he can't read all those books beforehand and prep them himself and narrate all of them. Those are different skills. So anyways, I thought that was really cool. But yeah, I got to meet some people and do some like networking there. And so yeah, it was fun. That's my time since then. But I think that brings us to some nerdy news button.
It's time for nerdy news.
All right, speaking of balls from our feedback, my news story is called Balls on Break. And what that means is an article from Science Daily. Scientists at Cornell University may be closing in on the long-sought holy grail of male contraception. It's a safe, reversible, non-hormonal method that completely halts sperm production. And in a breakthrough mouse study, researchers used a compound called JQ1 to temporarily shut down meiosis, which is the critical process that produces sperm, without causing lasting harm. And after the treatment stopped, sperm production bounced back, fertility returned, and the animals produced healthy offspring. The study was conducted on mice over 6 years, so pretty thorough. And if developed for human use, this type of male contraceptive could be delivered as an injection given every 3 months, or possibly as a patch to maintain effectiveness. And this is something I've been dreaming about for years, because basically I wanted something that I wish was mandatory, where you made people, in essence, sterile until they just walk into an office and say, hey, I want to have a child. And then there's no prerequisites. You're then you're taken off the shot, or you're given a different shot to make you fertile again. And that way, just no one's having an accidental child ever. And there's no prerequisites, no tests or something like that. If you can be a good parent or like that, it'll just automatically cut out the accidental children from the equation. And that way people are always just like, if they want to make that choice, they've made that choice on purpose. And this is something that just stupid men who refuse to wear birth control or wear condoms and stuff, this is a no excuse kind of like thing that could be out there where it's like, we have no excuse. You should be on this because it's non-hormonal, like women's birth control messes with their bodies and everything. This wouldn't do that. So what do you think, Steve?
Yeah, I think guys will probably still find something to be sleazy about. So I don't think this is going to stop that. It'll just be different.
They'll find something different. Yes.
Just doesn't feel the same when I got a little thing in my gooch. Like, it just...
It feels better when I have actual sperms in there locked and loaded.
Something about my confidence.
Yeah.
Don't you make me be confident, babe?
God, why do you want to take that away from me?
That's right.
Because men are terrible.
Just the worst. No, I don't know. I mean, I like the idea. Our goal is to get Joyce on birth control of some sort pretty much as soon as it is feasible and responsible.
Yeah.
But we don't want to deal with that shit.
Yeah. So if we had more men eventually on something like this, I think the world would be a safer, better place. Put those balls on break. That's what I'm saying.
That's right. Speaking of breaking some balls, let's talk about Abominable.
Whoa!
Man, what a movie this was. We start with a couple living out in the middle of nowhere somewhere. I thought that was funny as I wrote it. In the middle of nowhere somewhere. They hear a commotion and the screams of their animals, only to find that they have all been killed, and left behind is a monstrous footprint. We then meet Preston Rogers, a hardcore mountain climber turned paraplegic widower. He lost his wife on a climb on Suicide Peak.
Gosh.
Some 6 months ago. He's headed back to a cabin that him and his wife shared to face the pain of her death. And he takes his dopey medical assistant Otis with him, takes him to see it. Meanwhile, in the cabin next door, some young women show up and they're having, I guess, a bachelor party, maybe. I was trying to find the reason and it said bachelor party and I went, I don't remember that at all. So we're going to say bachelorette party. It is hard to tell which one is the main character or even if they have names. That night, Preston is just overtly spying on the women through multiple windows when he notices that one of them is missing and her cell phone is on the ground. Maybe she was abducted. That's when he notices the phone lines are down. They're isolated. And that's when he sees giant yellow eyes in the woods looking back at him. Preston tries to tell Otis, who thinks that he's just being melodramatic or making up an excuse so that they can leave. Meanwhile, a bunch of locals, including the guy from the beginning, go hunting for Bigfoot. One of them, played by Lance Henriksen, finds a cave inside of which the abducted woman, her guts are falling out. I think he literally says like, "Oh, that's gross" at one point.
Yeah.
He runs back to camp as she is dragged into the darkness, and then the Yeti kills all three of them one at a time. It's like both climactic and anticlimactic at the exact same time. One of them, however, has an oxygen tank, which in this moment I convinced myself was the loaded gun for the end of the movie, like the scuba tank in Jaws. But alas, no, I mentally gave this movie too much credit. Preston tries to email the police, and then he tries to text the women, but it turns out it's the early days of the internet, and that's a stupid plan. He then grabs his binoculars and spies on one in the shower. He also sees a Yeti, but he's looking at one in the shower. When Otis catches him, he says that they got to get out of there and starts getting agitated. Otis walks away, and one of the women is folded backwards through a bathroom window. And Otis just thinks Preston's still full of it and is peeping on girls. Otis grabs a syringe and goes to sedate Preston, but Preston wrestles it from him and plunges the syringe into Otis, putting him down. Back in town, the local cops get Preston's email, but think that he finally lost it. And the chief is like, we're not going to go check this out. And then this is where I wrote, I don't know what this was. I said, why the fuck are all of the shots of the police officers so goddamn close? Every shot of a police officer was like, you couldn't see the top of their head. You could barely see their neck. It was like the tightest shot you could imagine for some reason. And I don't know why.
Maybe they shot it in an office, so they didn't have like an actual police station. So they had to like get
I guess
close.
It happened again at the end too.
Wow.
The three remaining women discover the death of their friend, and they're like, we got to get out of there. Preston breaks a window to distract the beast that is approaching the women's cabin. And that's when we get the first full view of the Abominable. And it's real bad.
Oh, I liked it.
It breaks any remaining tension that this movie had the moment they show it. Preston tries again to warn the women, but the monster is in the house. It rips the ceiling above it, pulling one of the women down through the floor above, and it just eats her. The remaining two women try to escape. The Abominable flips a Jeep and grabs one of them while the other scrambles over to Preston's place. Preston comforts the one remaining woman named Amanda, and it gets oddly romantic. And then Preston immediately reveals the death of his wife and his tragic backstory.
Yeah.
All in approximately 40 seconds of film. This all happens. Preston grabs his climbing gear, leaving behind a lumberjack's axe for the end of the movie, I guess. He's going to lower Amanda down from his balcony to escape into the woods, despite the fact that they know the Yeti comes from and lives in the woods. It makes sense. Preston goes down first, so he can then lower down Amanda second, I guess. And she's on her way down when the Abominable catches up, grabs the rope, and begins to pull her back up hand over hand. But just then, Otis, the health aide, wakes up, grabs the axe, and yells the heroic line, "Hey, axe monkey!" and buries the axe into the Abominable's back, and it bites his entire face off. His whole face. Amanda drops again, but the Abominable grabs the rope again, repeating the same beat of the movie that we just went through without advancing the story at all. It was very harrowing. She finally disconnects from the rope and falls. They make it to the car, but as they race away, the Yeti grabs the car and they end up crashing. Amanda is thrown through the windshield like a crash test dummy, and Preston operates the car with his hands, backing it up into the Abominable and driving it back into the tree. The tree pushes the axe that was lodged in its back directly through its entire chest. The axe is visible from the front now, And despite this, the Abominable somehow struggles for another 2 minutes of the movie. Oh my God. The police arrive. They go searching for survivors. We get a really, really long, drawn out police scene that is way too long. Nothing happens. And it's basically the chief calling all of them sissies. Like, that's basically what the entire scene amounts to. He's also way too close in the frame. They're all way too close in the frame when they hear a noise, which they can't see because the frame is so tight. And that's when they turn to see multiple sets of glowing abominable eyes looking out from the darkness. The end. In some ways, this movie was better and then immediately worse than I thought it would be. And I'm interested to hear your take on it.
There were like interesting moments of hope, like, because straight off the bat, I was like, oh, this is cool. It's like Rear Window, but with Bigfoot monster. Because like the whole Jimmy Stewart Rear Window movie where it's Hitchcock, you know, and he's the handicapped guy looking out the window, who sees a murder happen and no one believes him and that kind of stuff. And that's exactly what this is. But I'm like, it's like, that's really cool. And that actor who's playing the main character, who you've probably seen in something, Matt McCoy is his name.
Oh yeah, he's been a working actor for decades.
He has these really piercing eyes, you know, like he's just very recognizable. And then also just like they're setting up this cast of people we recognize almost everybody, every male actor you recognize. Unfortunately the 4 women I did not recognize at all. But
no, and even if as I looked him up, I was like, nope, didn't end up having much of a career. Nope.
Yeah, you'll see in the opening credits they says Haley Joel is in this. I'm like, oh, like Haley Joel Osment? I'm like, no, her name is Haley Joel.
Haley Joel.
Yeah. But Star Trek fans out there will be excited because we got Jeffrey Combs playing the guy in the oxygen tank. He's played, he was the, oh God, what's that movie? The B movie horror that he's really famous for.
Reanimator and Beyond Reanimator. He was also in the classic Frighteners.
Oh, I love the Frighteners.
Great villain. Crazy, creepy villain in Frighteners.
And he plays so many roles throughout Star Trek, different alien makeups. Rex Lynn, who's one of the people from the initial scene. He plays Billy Haas. You'll recognize his face. Of course, our random Lance Henriksen, who dies so quickly. Phil Morris, who plays the attorney, who's like Johnny Cochran in Seinfeld. He's one of the deputies. You got Paul Gleason, who is the principal.
Yeah, Paul Gleason. I was like, wait, the principal from Breakfast Club is here? What the hell is happening? It's
like, who did this person know to have all these people in this movie? You know, what did he have over them? That's what I'm wondering.
And then Dee Wallace had that short thing right at the beginning.
Dee Wallace.
She was the mom in E.T.
Oh yes,
Cujo,
absolutely.
Critters, The Howling. She's sci-fi and horror royalty, and somehow they got her in the first 2 minutes of this film.
Oh yeah, you'll recognize her immediately too. So yeah, it's setting up for this like, oh, this is going to be an actual quality flick, and then it goes. You start realizing this movie was filmed in 2006, and the film quality, like they used a camera from like the 1980s. It feels like. It's really strange. Like, and it feels like it's a movie filmed in the 1980s. And then, like you said, there's some shots and things that looks like it was a student film or something. And like
well, yeah, I'm serious. If you ever watch this, watch anything with the cops in it. For whatever reason, they decided they could only frame them like right at their face. Like there's no wide shot of the police. It tells me that they had nowhere to film. And so to disguise this fact, they were like, shit, we got to just keep it real tight. No one can see the background.
It's really strange.
And I agree. This movie, when it was standard shots, you know, on a tripod, on a dolly, whatever, it was fine. The quality was fine. As soon as they got into looking through the Yeti's point of view, anything with movement, the quality went just straight down into the ground. And then it would be fine again, as long as they were using a regular camera. And then again.
I several times it felt like the actors were really good because they were reading this like pretty subpar dialogue, but reading it naturally. But then at times they had all these older actors reading dialogue that sounded like a teenager wrote it. like him saying "ew, gross" with the girl's guts falling out. Like hearing that come out of Lance Henriksen's mouth just felt really weird.
And I will admit there were a couple moments, especially with the women, where it is clear to me that those female actresses had very little script. Like they clearly did not write a script for those scenes.
It felt improvised.
And so they had to improvise. And so there were some good, like genuine catty camaraderie kind of moments that clearly came out of the fact that there was no script in those parts.
Like we're talking about the wedding they're going to. Yeah.
Yeah. And them getting catty and poking fun at each other and that kind of shit. That was all good. That was all good for the most part.
I thought that same exact feeling when they're sitting on the porch and they're talking to each other. I'm like, this just feels like a natural conversation with women chatting with each other. Like, this is really cool. But then...
Yeah, once again, there was definitely no script there.
That was all them and not the screenwriter.
It definitely was. Then there were major continuity issues with this where like, there were moments in the final sequence where the Haley Joel Amanda went from being fine to having like bruises on her face and cuts on her face, and then back to fine, like, and then back to bruises. Like there was nobody controlling continuity on what was happening, and it really showed up in the final, 5 to 10 minutes. There were just so many like, why does she have that now? She didn't have that before. What happened to that bruise on her face? Where's his cut on his face? Like
they weren't keeping track of that at all.
No, they were not. This was day to day.
I would say that one other thing that I'll explain, because I figured out why in the trivia, but the score was really good. Way better than this movie deserved, I thought. It was just like, it was not like a MIDI score. It was a full, like, actual scored film. And I was like, and it felt like it was scored also like an 80s film. It did not feel like it was scored for like a 2006 movie, but I'll explain that later on why it was a good score.
I love that. And let's talk about the really hard to, the Rear Window thing was good.
Yeah.
That was a good, interesting angle, but they used it too much for way too goddamn long, to the point where it was like, how could he possibly be able to see all this?
Yeah.
There aren't enough windows in a house. That's inside a hallway. How could he possibly see from his window to an inside hallway of that cabin?
And part of like how Hitchcock built tension with that movie was that he couldn't hear what they were saying and so there was no sound. It's like literally him silently freaking out because he can't hear what's going on. We could hear all their dialogue perfectly. So it's like, is he hearing this too? Like, if I'm that far away, like, I don't understand. That was odd.
And then I know that you said you liked the Abominable.
He's cheesy looking for sure.
I honestly, up until they showed it, I thought they were doing a very good job of implying danger. I think we saw a hand here, a silhouette there.
Footprint.
As a big fan of like Gremlins and Jaws and those guys, where the prosthetics were so limited that they had to imply a lot. I thought that was really well done. And then they put it on screen.
Mm-hmm.
And I could have gone another 25 minutes without seeing that thing, and I would have been fine.
And then we saw a lot of it.
And what killed me about it was not necessarily the prosthetic itself. The face actually had some kind of impressive movement or emotion to it that I wasn't expecting, but it was the proportion. As soon as you realize that Yeti was only 6 feet tall and his neck was somehow 2.5 feet wide, the proportion just got ruined.
It looked kind of odd
because they couldn't figure out how to put that on stilts or something, like they couldn't find an actor tall enough to convey it. And that hurt it. The proportion was so off.
Yeah, because before that, like you said, one of those really great kind of spooky looking shots is you see him walking through the trees in the shadows, and you realize, oh, that's his head at the top of those trees. And it looks like that, just kind of like, ooh, that's a good shot. That kind of creepy how big this thing is. And then, it ruins it later when he's with them.
And then even at the end with the police, it's all these trees. And then where do the eyes pop up is like
the top of the trees.
The top of those trees, which was great. But then they couldn't actualize that. And they should have changed something to make it make more sense.
Yeah.
So the prosthetic was good. The proportion was off. If he had been 2 feet taller, I think it would have been perfectly fine.
Yeah. I put down something I had to mention, a bunch of tense but very slow, drawn out scenes. Like there's one where he's writing email to the cops, and it's like they take way too long in the scene of him writing an email to the cops. He like deletes it and goes back. And then there's like the rambling ASMR monologue he has about his wife and everything, and about how he's meant to be here. He's like starts whispering. He's like, "I'm meant to be here. We're gonna be okay." I was like, "Okay, is this done yet?" Like you said, it was 40 seconds. I think it was more like 4 minutes.
Oh, the him and the girl getting like very too
personal,
close, too quick, romantic, and then immediately told him about his dead wife.
Yeah,
like, it was weird.
And that happened again.
Was the one getting married? Maybe
I couldn't tell. I don't know if the wife was actually there.
My commentary that like I couldn't tell which one they wanted us to think was the main character was 100% legit.
Until they isolate her and suddenly she's the main character of their group. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess she's the main one, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. The rest of you were just accessories to the situation. Okay.
And the worst, as you mentioned before, them rappelling down this balcony when they've seen already this guy can blast through walls and like go anywhere he wants. And like, how is you slowly rappelling down this balcony going to in any way save you from this creature who can just jump off that balcony and kill you like immediately?
Well, yeah, their plan was to go off a second story. It's not like they're like 80 feet in the air or something. From what we can tell, this is like 20 to 30 feet into the woods where the Abominable is.
Yeah.
Like, now, mind you, if it was like we're going to lure him into the house and then trap him.
Yeah.
Like if there had been anything even remotely like that, I could have gotten on board, but there was nothing.
Well, he starts setting a trap for the front door. He's even like, I'm going to make a trap for the front door. And then they just abandon that with not even questioning it. Like that never is talked about again because they just pull it all back. And like, that's where he came through, the front door. Why didn't you leave the trap there? It made no sense. No. It was frustrating. Frustrating film.
Yeah. So like, once again, better than I expected. At the same time, worse than I expected.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever had a movie do that to me before.
It's not horrible, but it ain't great.
Yeah. What I will say is it is the best Bigfoot horror film I've ever seen.
Oh, there's better ones out there. There's really good ones, actually. So we'll watch those someday.
I'm sure. I mean, I also love Harry and the Hendersons.
Horror film.
Do you see what he does to their house? Horror.
The horror.
Well, that's Abominable in honor, of course, of the much anticipated Yeti.
Oh, we have some trivia for this film as well.
Oh, shit. Trivia.
So Rex Lynn, the bald guy playing Boss Hogg, or whatever the hell his name was in the beginning of the movie, very familiar looking guy. He only agreed to act in this movie under the condition that he got to play the monster in at least one scene. And so we don't know which scene it is, but apparently he's in the costume for one scene because that was part of his deal for being in this movie. Sheriff Halderman, Paul Gleason, is seen taking a sip from a mug with the quote, "Don't mess with the bull." That's because his character, Principal Richard Vernon from the Breakfast Club, has a line, "Don't mess with the bull, young man. You'll get the horns." So
right.
That's why that was there. 6-time Oscar nominee Lalo Schifrin wrote the score for this movie. Or sorry, Schifrin. So I was like, oh, a 6-time Oscar nominated composer wrote this score. That's why was he writing the score for this? It makes a lot of sense because he's the director's father.
Oh,
so a little bit of nepotism went a long way.
No,
he has over 200 movie and film, television and film credits. He did Mission Impossible from '96. He did the Rush Hour movies. Lots of things you might recognize.
Directed by Ryan Schifrin.
Yeah, so that was his dad. He's like, "Dad, can you do the score for my movie I'm making? Can you get your friends to be in this movie I'm making?" That's what happened, basically. The lead, Matt McCoy, we were talking about with the piercing eyes. This is his second Bigfoot movie. He was with a kinder, gentler Sasquatch that was portrayed in 1994's Bigfoot: The Unforgettable Encounter, probably playing off some Harry and the Hendersons fame there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And random fact, but Tiffany Shepis, who was the woman who's in the shower being peeped on by our main character, she was pregnant while she acted in this film. So she did a naked shower scene while pregnant. So I say good for her. That's some confidence right there.
Good for you.
And also what made me a little upset about this was that this took place in Flatwoods. And they'd even talk about the Flatwoods monster and almost referencing a Bigfoot type creature. But the Flatwoods monster is a very famous cryptid. from New Jersey. But this legend deals with Sasquatch instead of it being like an alien creature. So that made me a little upset. They got another cryptids and that messed them up. So that's all I had to say about that.
And even that, he watches those videos from those random, I guess, specialists who are like, it's less like a Bigfoot and more like the Abominable of the Himalayas or whatever the hell. I was like, God damn it. Why did we need that exposition?
And that's stupid because the Yeti is shorter than Bigfoot. Yeti is famously shorter.
Oh, yeah. The Flatwood Monsters. That looks like kind of alien-y.
It's an alien thing. Yeah, that's what they think it is. So, but it's a cryptid / alien. They're not sure where it falls in the category.
Headdress.
It's really cool looking. It's interesting. It's a singular type of creature. It's really interesting. And it's in the game Fallout 4, I believe. You can fight the Flatwoods monster. Yeah. So there's our trivia.
Well, I got a bit to go with this. There's so many cryptids, as Jarman mentioned, and I might be in trouble because he knows a lot of them. But I made a little game I'm going to call Cryptids or Crypto. Just as there are many, many cryptids, there are just as many, if not more, cryptocurrencies out there in the world. So I'm going to tell Jarman the name of either a cryptid or a crypto, and he has to tell me which it is.
Woo! I'm ready.
All right, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
The Ondo.
I don't recognize that, so I'm going to go with a crypto coin.
It is Ondo coin.
Woo!
Yeah. All right, are you ready for the next one?
Yes.
The Lido Dao.
That could be one of the lesser known, like Pacific Islands, Indonesia type creature. So I'm going to go with the cryptid.
No, that is a cryptocurrency. The Lido Dao.
I had not heard of that before, so I should have gone with my gut.
All right. Selma.
It's a famous place in history. Selma, Alabama. Selma just seems... I'll go with the cryptocurrency.
Oh, no, it's a cryptid. Selma is a lake monster from Norway.
Weird name for one.
Yeah. All right. Where my list? Monad. The Monad.
I feel like I've heard that name in the cryptid community. So I'm going to say cryptid.
I'm sorry, that's a crypto.
Oh, God.
It's a cryptocurrency.
This is harder than I hoped it would be.
I know, right? All right. The Gazika.
Now I'm just going to go law of averages, what I've already guessed. I'm going to say it's a cryptid.
That is the Gazika, also known as the Peruvian demon pig.
What?
Right. Yowie.
The Yowie is the Australian Bigfoot. I know that one.
That is correct. The ape man from Australia. All right. Arbitrum.
See, that seems like Electrum, kind of like, that's got to be a crypto coin.
That is a crypto coin.
Yeah.
All right. We are down to our final three.
All right.
Right?
All right.
All right. The Ave. AAVE.
AAVE.
The Ave.
I don't recognize that, but it sounds like it could be something from a country. So I'm going to say cryptid.
It is a crypto.
Whoa. Oh, crypto.
And you're not wrong. It is from a country. I just don't know which one.
Wait. Is it a cryptid or a crypto?
It's a crypto.
Oh, so I got it wrong. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, you got it wrong.
Okay. You sounded like you were excited that I got that, like I got it right.
I am excited you got it wrong.
Damn it.
All right, ready?
Mm-hmm.
2 left. Mermaid.
Oh, what is this bullshit? Is both an answer?
It is not.
Then that's like a cryptid, obviously.
Yeah, it is. It is. I was trying just to make you nervous.
God damn it, son of a bitch.
It sounded just feasible enough there'd be a mermaid coin.
Of course.
All right, this is the final one. The Almas. ALMAS. The Almas.
I think that is a kind of a mammalian creature of some sort, a cryptid.
It is a cryptid. I have it as an ape man from Western Mongolia and parts of China.
Yes. Okay. I thought I recognized that.
All right. With that, Jarman, encrypted or crypto, you ended up getting 6 out of 10.
It's a passing grade, maybe.
It's pretty good. And you got a lot of the cryptids right. It's just that you guessed a bunch of the cryptos were cryptids as well.
That's where I went wrong. Yep. That makes a lot of sense.
All right. But that is cryptids or crypto. Thank you for playing.
All right. And that brings us to some radical recommends.
If you have the means, I highly recommend picking one up.
What do you recommend I do?
I recommend Pleasant.
So coincidentally, this was already brought up earlier in the podcast by Steve talking about the dresser for his son, but we are talking about Facebook Marketplace here on Radical Recommends today. And I know Zuckerberg sucks and Facebook sucks in general a lot of the time, but man, I do love Facebook Marketplace. Recently, before my son was born, I had to get some shelving just to put up. I didn't want a house just with everything all over the floor and unorganized because I'm a crazy neat freak to begin with. When we got all this, all his belongings and the rags and the diapers and the toys. So I tried to look for big cube shelves, kind of like cubby shelves. And I found perfect ones like on the first day looking for them. I'm fortunate enough to live near a larger city, I guess, in Orlando. So it's like there's a lot more options. If you're in a smaller town, you might have some trouble. But there was a lot available. It's super cheap. Someone was moving out, had to get rid of it today. And I went and grabbed it and cleaned them up and put them out there. And now everything's organized in our living room. It's like, it's livable. It's perfect.
Nice.
Then I had my receiver went bad. I have these surround sound speakers I've had for probably 15 years now. And I've gotten several receivers and the speakers are still working just fine. But this last receiver went bad, and I wanted to get one that had the new features with like Dolby Vision and lots of HDMI slots and the new Dolby sound, which I think is Dolby Atmos.
Dolby Atmos.
When I finally upgrade my speakers, it'll be usable for that. And I found one of them with everything on it, and the person was selling it for $400 cheaper than it costs to buy brand new. So I was like, for $150, I bought this wonderful receiver off Facebook Marketplace. He's like, I got a second one that's much better, so I'm just getting rid of this one. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna grab it. And and I got a Keurig Duo the other day because we've been using this tiny little coffee pot because our Keurig broke forever ago. And Keurig, we use replaceable, refillable pods.
Yeah, the pod things, yeah.
Yeah, we put our coffee in there and put it in there. But our Keurigs kept breaking because we were buying them at secondhand stores anyway. We were buying them at like thrift shops. And so I found, and I keep having guests coming over, like grandparents to visit with the kid. So I needed one that also had the big pot and a Keurig so we could have one on the go real fast and a big pot for when we have guests come over. We need a lot of coffee. So this Keurig Duo thing has both in one little unit. And I found one for $40. They go for $200 in the store. I'm like, yoo-hoo. So I'm like, it was kind of dirty, not going to lie. They weren't really taking care of that thing, but man, I scrubbed it down and descaled and all that stuff to it. And that's still a hell of a lot cheaper than buying the thing brand new. So I cannot recommend Facebook Marketplace anymore than I already have. So there you go.
Wow.
I'm passionate.
I'm going to throw my own little recommend in here.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about it earlier when we were talking about Abominable and Jaws. A new podcast that I'm really late to the game on. Like I'm incredible, like 7 years late to the game. It's called the What Went Wrong podcast.
Oh.
And I highly recommend it. It is 2 hosts that sort of break down some of the most infamous and some of the most famous films and like all the sort of crazy hijinks that happen behind the scenes. So for example, they did one on Jaws, which was incredible to hear just all the things that went wrong on that thing. It was originally supposed to be a 55-day shoot and ended up being a 159-day shoot. They got the shark out to the ocean and basically it never worked right.
Yeah, I had heard about that.
Like even because Spielberg, in an interview they played with Spielberg, like, so how did you eventually get it to work? And he's like, we didn't. We really, really didn't get that shark to work. He was like, if anything, it forced me to be a more creative director because I had to imply everything because we literally never got the shark to work. And so he's like, the yellow barrel thing? I didn't want to show yellow barrels. My initial plan was to have the shark in those shots, but it didn't work. So the yellow barrels became the thing. It became an iconic piece of the movie. If anything, the shark not working has probably made it the film that it is.
What are the host names in that show? Because
something Winterbauer, and I don't remember.
I thought I knew who those hosts were. Okay.
But just incredible. So they talk about really great movies, but they also talk about really not great movies. The Abyss. They did a whole thing on the Twilight Zone,
the movie,
John Landis, where 3 of the actors were killed.
Oh yeah.
And they basically broke down like, here are all the things that went wrong up to. It was a 2-parter, and the second one was about like, and here's how the trial went.
Oh.
So really good. They're going to have an episode about some movie that you love or at least interested in, and I highly recommend it.
Nice.
Highly recommend What Went Wrong podcast.
It's like what we would do if we actually put, more research into this.
We used to. Remember when we used to take time to do these things? Like way back in the day?
When we had time? Yeah, sure.
Where I had like research pieces every episode? Yeah, man. It was so young and stupid.
I remember the pinball episode. We did like a whole history of pinball and D&D and everything.
Oh, man. I remember the pinball episode. I had just moved to California when we did the pinball episode.
Damn.
Yeah, man. Long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Oh, yeah.
Well, talking about a galaxy far, far away, let's escape into the silver screen with some trailer reviews. Woo! All right. This week, the movie I chose is a new offering from J.J. Abrams, Bad Robot, in some way, shape, or form, and that is The End of Oak Street.
Mm.
And I don't know what this movie is, but I like dinosaurs and I like J.J. Abrams.
Yeah. We basically have like saying that this woman's at the end of the trailer basically saying they think their whole neighborhood has been transported somewhere, and you kind of see in a one shot where it's like someone just scooped up their whole neighborhood and plopped it down somewhere else, and we don't know where that is, but that's kind of like the premise, I guess. Yeah,
you can see like a jungle kind of in the border of things. Anne Hathaway's there. Like, the cast is kind of nuts. The fact that it stars Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor is kind of insane.
Yeah.
But I don't know what this is. Like, I don't get it. Mind you, maybe that's good. Maybe it's good I don't get it, but I don't get it.
That's J.J. Abrams' whole thing, man. The mystery box. Like, what the hell is going on? And my first thought with the title of this movie and the premise, like, is this part of the Cloverfield universe? Is that what we're seeing again here?
I don't know. Part of me would be okay with that, but there's been no mention of like dinosaurs.
That's true.
In the Cloverfield paradox area. And there've been 3 Cloverfield related films?
At least 3, yeah.
Cloverfield, 10 Cloverfield Lane, and that Netflix thing, the Cloverfield paradox. Actually, I just said it out loud. So like, yeah, maybe this could be a sleeper sequel or in it. I would just be surprised. That being said, the music is very like, I think your next note is feel very Spielberg-esque. The music gives me E.T. vibes.
Yes.
Hardcore.
And we know J.J. Abrams likes his Spielberg, and like that, he did that whole movie about the little alien that was found, Echo, or not, was it that?
Echo, Earth to Echo. That was a good film that like nobody saw.
Yeah, he produced that one. It was like, that was supposed to be like an E.T. type, for the modern generation. But it was a good movie. Yeah, I think it looks really pretty. As we said, great actors. You got kid actors in there to make it feel even more Spielberg-like. And so will this be like, I didn't see what it was rated, but is it going to be like a family film, or is it going to be, I don't know.
I think it's got to be a family film.
What's it called again?
The End of Oak Street.
The End of Oak Street. Is it rated something?
MPA.
I thought that'd be like on the first page of things. I had to look this up in a long time. Like, what a
It's possible it hasn't been rated yet.
This film was not been rated.
The trailer was approved for general audiences.
And it's Michael Giacchino doing most of J.J. Abrams' stuff. He did all the Star Trek films. He's doing the score. Yeah, it doesn't say yet, so hard to say.
But yeah, so I mean, I like J.J. Abrams. I like dinosaurs. I don't know what this movie is, but I'm cautiously optimistic. I think I'll know after one more trailer.
We should say it's not directed by J.J. Abrams. It's directed by a guy who did It Follows.
Yeah, It Follows is his big one.
So he only has 4 credits to his name, so they're giving him a lot of credit to do a Ewan McGregor Anne Hathaway movie. But yeah, so it looks interesting.
It means that he didn't draw. It means that JJ and the production company was the draw.
Yeah, exactly.
Bad Robot was the draw on this one. So I'm going to give this a 1 Gary Busey watching the Smurfs way too close to the television in his dinosaur jammies.
I'm going to give this 1 Gary Busey and 1 Raul Julia getting off a plane, and Raul Julia wakes Gary Busey up, and he looks out the window, and he's like, Raul, they moved the whole plane. Yes, Gary, that's what they do with the plane. They move it to one place to another.
We're in a different place now, Raul.
I know, Gary.
There's dinosaurs, Raul.
No, that's another plane. That's not a dinosaur.
That's a baggage handler, Gary.
I guess that thing looked like a dinosaur with the stairs, the stair cart.
Yeah, and then Gary just looks out the window and starts singing.
All right, well, that brings us to the end of episode 244 of A Play on Nerds. We appreciate you guys coming out.
We literally did not talk about what we're doing next time.
Nope. So you guys are going to find out what we're doing next time when we do.
That's right. We don't even know, and neither do you. Come on back for that mystery show and be our nerdy audience. We'll keep on coming back to be your nerdy co-hosts. Thanks again, Internet.
Stay nerdy, my friends.
Thanks for listening to A Play on Nerds. Feel free to email feedback at aplayonnerds.com with all your questions or comments.
Shoot us a message on Facebook or Twitter and earn yourself a sweet shout out on the show.
Review us on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts so even more nerds can find us. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, we aren't picky.
Check out our entire back catalog and other offerings at aplayonnerds.com.
And how?